Welcome to the Kanto region. Here the forces of nature are untamed, and the mountains themselves breathe fire. This is Pokémon in real life, and our story begins in the silence of the forest. A sleepy Bulbasaur wakes in the sunlight and stretches the vines hidden under its bulb. Nearby, an Ivysaur rests quietly as the heavy pink flower bud on its back begins to open. The sweet scent calls a massive Venusaur who shakes the forest floor with every heavy step. Spooked by the noise, a Charmander runs away while carefully protecting the flame on its tail. An angry Charmeleon hears the commotion and slashes its sharp claws through the hot air. Above them, a Charizard takes flight and breathes a stream of fire at the clouds. To escape the heat, a Squirtle jumps off the bank and dives into the cool water. A confident Wartortle swims past, steering through the strong current with its furry ears. Suddenly, a Blastoise rises from the waves and aims its heavy water cannons at the shore. Crawling onto the land, a tiny Caterpie climbs a tree to feast on a fresh green leaf. It soon wraps itself in silk, becoming a hard metapod that hangs silently from a branch. Bursting from the shell, a Butterfree spreads its wings and scatters dust into the wind. On the ground below, a Weedle searches for food while checking for danger with its poison stinger. It evolves and freezes into a yellow Kakuna, waiting patiently for its wings to fully grow. With a buzzing sound, a Beedrill flies out, pointing its sharp stingers at a nearby intruder. A startled Pidgey flaps its wings to kick up a cloud of dust and escape the angry bee. A larger Pidgeotto spots the movement from the sky and dives down with its sharp talons. With incredible speed, a Pidgeot soars past them at Mach 2, creating a massive wind gust. A purple Rattata scurries through the grass, twitching its nose to sniff out a tasty treat. Its larger form, Raticate, gnaws on a thick log with its growing teeth to wear them down. Overhead, a Spearow cries out loudly, protecting its territory from any who get too close. A majestic Fearow answers the call, using its long beak to snatch prey from the ground. Slithering silently, an Ekans wraps its long body around a tree branch to rest. An intimidating Arbok raises its hood and hisses to warn others to stay away. A cute Pikachu watches the snake, sparks of electricity crackling softly from its red cheeks. Absorbing the charge, a Raichu glows brightly and unleashes a powerful thunderbolt. The ground shakes as a Sandshrew curls into a ball to roll quickly across the dry sand. Using its sharp claws, a Sandslash digs a deep tunnel to escape the harsh desert sun. A small Nidoran, female, pricks its ears up, listening cautiously for predators in the tall grass. Her evolved form, Nidorina, rests in the shade, keeping her friends safe from harm. The mighty Nidoqueen steps forward, covering her body in hard, armor-like scales. Nearby, a Nidoran male tests the wind with his nose, searching for a rival to challenge. An aggressive Nidorino charges forward, pointing his toxic horn straight at the target. With a ground-shaking roar, Nidoking uses his powerful tail to smash a large boulder. Under the moonlight, a Clefairy dances lightly, floating slightly above the ground. Hearing the music, a Clefable wiggles its sensitive ears to pick up distant sounds. A Vulpix sits by a fire, its 6 beautiful tails glowing warm and orange in the dark. The elegant Ninetales appears, its golden fur shining as it casts a mysterious spell. Bouncing into view, a Jigglypuff inflates its body and sings a lullaby to put everyone to sleep. A Wigglytuff happily bounces along, its soft fur feeling pleasant to anyone who touches it. In a dark cave, a Zubat uses supersonic waves to navigate without bumping into walls. A Golbat opens its massive mouth, swooping down from the ceiling to find a meal. Walking in the moonlight, an Oddish wanders around to spread its pollen while it walks. The smell comes from a Gloom, which drools a sticky nectar that attracts curious prey. A Vileplume shakes its massive petals, scattering toxic yellow dust into the air. Burrowing under a tree, a Paras feeds on tree roots, while the mushrooms on its back grow. A Parasect takes over, its large mushroom cap completely controlling the bug underneath. A fuzzy Venonat sits on a branch, its radar-like eyes scanning the darkness for movement. A Venomoth flutters its dusty wings, leaving a trail of poisonous powder in its wake. The ground rumbles as a Diglett pops its head up to see what is happening above ground. 3 heads appear as a Dugtrio works together to dig a massive tunnel system. A greedy Meowth prowls the night, looking for shiny coins to add to its collection. A sophisticated Persian grooms its fur, looking down on everything with a haughty stare. Holding its head, a Psyduck waddles near the river, suffering from a constant headache. Suddenly, a Golduck swims fast, its third eye glowing as it uses mysterious psychic power. An angry Mankey swings from a tree, chasing anyone who looked at it the wrong way. A furious Primeape thrashes about, its rage making it stronger with every second. A loyal Growlithe barks faithfully, standing guard over its trainer's territory. A majestic Arcanine races across the field, running as smoothly as if it were flying. A Poliwag swims in the pond, its slippery skin showing the spiral pattern on its belly. A Poliwhirl walks on land, using its damp skin to stay cool in the open air. A muscular Polywrath practices its punches, its strong arms never getting tired. Teleporting away, an Abra sleeps deeply to regain its psychic energy. A Kadabra holds a silver spoon, focusing its mind to bend the metal with a thought. A wise Alakazam uses its high IQ to calculate the outcome of the battle instantly. A Machop lifts a heavy rock, training its muscles to become the strongest fighter. A Machoke strikes a pose, showing off the power belt that keeps its energy in check. With 4 arms, a Machamp throws a flurry of punches that move faster than the eye can see. A thin Bellsprout plants its feet in the soil to absorb nutrients from the damp earth. A Weepinbell hangs from a branch, waiting for something to fall into its open mouth. A Victreebel uses its sweet scent to lure prey closer before swallowing them whole. Drifting in the ocean, a Tentacool uses its transparent body to hide in the waves. A Tentacruel extends its 80 tentacles, creating a net to catch anything swimming by. On a mountain path, a Geodude disguises itself as a rock to trip clumsy hikers. A Graveler rolls down the hill, crushing rocks and trees without stopping. A Golem withstands a dynamite blast, its rock-hard shell protecting it from any damage. A Ponyta gallops through the field, its hooves barely touching the grass as it runs. A Rapidash races at high speed, its fiery mane flowing wildly in the wind. A dopey Slowpoke dips its tail in the water, not realizing it has already caught a fish. A Slowbro finally reacts, balancing the heavy shell biting onto its tail. Floating near a power plant, a Magnemite uses magnetism to cling to metal walls. 3 units join to form a Magnetine, generating a powerful high-voltage signal. A Farfetch'd walks by, carrying a leek stalk that it uses like a sword. A 2-headed Doduo runs across the plains, keeping watch in 2 directions at once. A 3-headed Dodrio races forward, arguing with itself over which way to go. On an iceberg, a seal happily claps its fins, not minding the freezing cold. A graceful dugong swims through the ice, its streamlined body moving like a dancer. A grimer slides out of a sewer pipe, leaving a trail of sludge behind it. A massive muck expands its body, smelling so bad that plants wilt nearby. A shelder clamps its shell shut, sticking its tongue out at anyone who gets too close. A cloister spikes its shell, becoming harder than diamond to protect its soft inside. A ball of gas, ghastly, floats through walls to scare people in haunted houses. A haunter licks the air with a gaseous tongue, trying to steal life energy. A grinning Gengar hides in a shadow, laughing mischievously at its frightened target. A giant onyx burrows through the ground, twisting its long stone body like a snake. A drowsy wanders the streets, searching for the delicious dreams of sleeping children. A hypno swings its pendulum back and forth, putting anyone who watches it into a deep trance. A crabby blows foam bubbles on the beach, raising its pincers to threaten a rival. A kingler waves its massive giant claw, which is heavy enough to crush rock. Rolling down a hill, a Voltorb looks just like a Pokeball, but explodes if touched. A spinning electrode gathers electricity, ready to blow up with a massive boom. 6 eggs huddle together as execute, communicating with each other through telepathy. The walking jungle Executor stomps its feet while its 3 heads think independently. A lonely Cubone wears the skull of its mother and cries at the moon. A tough Marowak overcomes its grief, using the bone as a boomerang weapon. A Hitmonlee stretches its legs, delivering a powerful kick that can shatter concrete. A Hitmonchan throws punches faster than a bullet train, bobbing and weaving like a pro. A Lickitung extends its tongue over 6 feet to lick up the last bit of food. A floating coughing pumps toxic gas into the air, making the room smoky. A wheezing mixes 2 kinds of poison gases, floating sadly with its 2 heads. A Rhyhorn charges in a straight line, smashing through anything that blocks its path. A Rhydon stands on 2 legs, using its drill horn to bore into solid rock. A helpful Chansey offers a nutritious egg to an injured Pokémon to help it heal. A Tangela walks by, its true face completely hidden by a mess of blue vines. A Kangaskhan carries its baby in its pouch, ready to fight fiercely to protect it. A Horsea spits ink at a bug on the water surface to knock it down. A Seadra spins its body to create a whirlpool that traps anything nearby. A Goldeen swims elegantly in the river, showing off its beautiful tail fins. A Seeking uses its horn to drill a nest into the boulders at the river bottom. A Stardew flashes its red core at night, communicating with the stars in the sky. A spinning Starmie uses its geometric body to swim through the water like a propeller. A Mr. Mime creates an invisible wall, pantomiming a box that nothing can pass through. A Scyther moves like a ninja, its scythe slicing through grass without making a sound. A Jinx dances rhythmically, trying to get others to join in its strange movement. An Electabuzz spins its arms, generating enough electricity to cause a blackout. A Magmar body burns with an orange glow, healing its wounds in the hot lava. A Pinsir uses its giant horns to grip its prey and toss it far away. A Tauros whips itself with its 3 tails, charging forward with wild energy. A helpless Magikarp splashes on the surface, unable to do much of anything. Suddenly, a terrifying Gyarados erupts from the water, destroying everything in a rage. A gentle Lapras sings a beautiful melody while ferrying people across the sea. A Ditto transforms into a rock to hide, copying the shape perfectly. A playful Eevee runs through the field, its genetic code ready to change. A Vaporeon melts into the water, becoming invisible as it swims. A Jolteon bristles its sharp fur, shooting tiny electric needles at a target. A Flareon fluffing its fur to release heat, warming the air around it. A Porygon moves in jerky motions made entirely of computer programming code. An Omanite revives from a fossil, swimming with its heavy spiral shell. An Omastar uses its sharp beak to crack open the shells of its prey. A Kabuto crawls on the ocean floor, using its hard shell to hide from danger. A Kabutops swims fast, using its sharp scythes to slash at fish in the water. An Aerodactyl screams from the sky, a prehistoric hunter looking for food. A Snorlax sleeps in the middle of the road, blocking the way with its giant belly. An Articuno flies over the mountain, its wings freezing the moisture in the air. A Zapdos crashes through a storm cloud, dropping lightning bolts everywhere. A Moltres flaps its wings, scattering embers that signal the coming of spring. A Dratini sheds its skin near a waterfall, growing larger with each cycle. A Dragonair radiates a gentle aura, changing the weather around its body. A Dragonite flies around the globe, saving drowning sailors from the stormy seas. A Mewtwo meditates in a cave, its psychic power glowing with intense pressure. A playful Mew floats invisibly, watching the world with innocent curiosity.